again. Every moment I am here is a gift. I attract only healthy relationships.
And be the difference. What are you waiting for?
I believe we're live. Great day, great day, great day, everyone. Andrene here. I am so excited to be in you all's presence. It is, as you know, I have a special guest today for this sacred conversation. And my special guest is the one, the only Lisa Scott. Say hi to the people, Lisa Scott.
Hi, people. Happy Friday.
Yes. Wait a second. I don't know. For some reason, I don't know why I'm not hearing. I don't know why I'm not hearing you, Lisa. Okay. I know why. Let me fix that.
Okay.
There you go.
All right now.
All right. We're back and we're live in living color. I just want to make sure that everything is right in the social media streets. And let me see who's in the room so I could just give them a quick shout out. Let's see who has come in the room. Please announce yourself so we can say hi to you. We're really excited to have a conversation. Also, please share this video with your Facebook community, because we're really excited about this conversation. It's going to be off the chain. I'm going to invite some folks in the room. Right now. And as I invite some folks in, Scott, to all of you, all right? Lisa Scott is a mother, metaphysician, author, and speaker. Lisa has been in the healthcare industry for over 24 years. Lisa's experience in the healthcare industry includes teaching process improvement to over 2,500 employees in one of her area's largest healthcare systems, as well as becoming certified as an advanced process improvement facilitator. Lisa is the creator of a process called Leverage Your Pain. While seeing her clients, who are women business owners, specializes in helping them clear emotional blocks. Let me repeat that. Clear emotional blocks to success, show up more powerfully, and start calling in who you serve more effortlessly. She sees her clients in groups and individually, online and in person by request. Also, Lisa is the author of a free ebook, and it's entitled When You've Tried Everything Except Yourself. Oh, I love that. When you've tried everything except yourself, 6 steps to move beyond your past experiences and programs and step into your own. Listen, ladies, mommies, if you are ready to step into your own, you are in the right place. And I'm just going to ask you one more time to please invite your friends, invite your mommy friends, invite women to this live video, because we are going to really touch on a topic that is very important. And I feel like it should be a conversation that's had more often, because we all experience pain. We all experience pain. We all will experience pain. We can't run away from that. However, if we can learn how to leverage that, it's a wrap, y'all. It's a wrap. So I've done enough talking. Lisa, please, tell us us a little bit about this leverage your pain process. How did you come up with it, and what is it about?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Andre, for having me here, and welcome to all the mommies. I am so excited to be here. The leverage your pain process is a process where I've been in the coaching industry, the spirituality coaching industry for quite some time, since 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, what I started to recognize within my own process, because here's what happens. We all start experiencing some type of pain that causes us to have to stop and take a look at something that we perhaps were not paying any attention to.
Yeah.
And for myself, leverage your pain is has a twofold reasoning for why I started it. Number one, because I came into a plateau in my own business where once, the clients were coming in at one point, and then I started to experience a plateau. And something I did notice also, that something had shifted and changed in the industry, in the atmosphere. Something shifted and changed, and I hadn't caught up with it. I did not understand what was happening. And so the pain that I was experiencing at the time was, what the heck is going on? Where's everybody at? Where's how come the faucet is starting to run dry? What is going on?
Wow.
So, whenever that happens, I don't get busy doing more things. Fortunately for me, my process is to stop, to get quiet, to pay attention, and to begin to listen. And the bottom line of being a business owner is if you're not providing a service that people need, you need to stop and pay attention to what the heck is going on.
True.
Okay. So I started to, re-examine and retake a look at everything that was happening around me. What was it that I was not noticing? And I started to notice an audience that I had not necessarily zoomed in on, and didn't understand that there was a natural progression, or there was a natural gravitation toward me from women business owners. I didn't understand that like initially. I was talking to everybody at one point. And there was a natural gravitation toward me from women business owners, but I needed to understand exactly what were they looking for? What was going on? What's happening? And what I noticed was that women business owners not only wanted to know, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do, people loved my presence online. I got a lot of compliments about that. But what I also understood as I began to talk to more and more women business owners were that there were pain points that were going on. Underlying pain points that were going on, and pain points are not so underlying, because from a space of pain is where, if we have not addressed that pain, is where everything is proceeding. It's proceeding from that space.
Right.
So as the creators of whatever it is that we're touching, if we have not addressed certain things, everything that is proceeding from that space is being impacted by the pain that we're in. So I noticed that people were trying to bypass and overlook and shun and not pay attention to the very things that were there, that were impacting their business. And I said, this is real interesting. This is very interesting. But what I also noticed in the spirituality realm that I am in is that this was, at least in my perception, and at least in the people that were predominantly in my arena, is that we were trying to sprinkle fairy dust over things. We were trying to say, no, that doesn't exist. We were trying to say, affirm it away. We were trying to do everything but address the pain, everything but face it head on. And so I began to ask the question, what's going on with that? What is the problem? you know, and I whenever I begin to question something, I go within myself and start to process, well, what was your issue with it? What were you going through over it?
Mm-hmm.
And what I realized with this process of pain that we go through is that, aha, we're not recognizing that this is a form of communication. We are not recognizing it as that. We are, you know, whatever pain has been identified as in your experience growing up, whatever you have been feeling regarding this, this is what you have been taught, and why it's so easy, or why people are being taught to not pay attention to it, taught to not act as if it exists, taught to affirm it away, taught to deny it, taught to shun it. And in my very own process, what I realize is that there's not one thing that I have done, or when I've come to a fork in the road, there is not one thing that I did not have to turn around and face head on before I was able to overcome that thing. And this is what assisted me to recognize within my own body that this is a form of communication that is speaking to us. And if we pay attention to this form of communication, we'll understand that there are clues that are being offered through this form of communication called pain. And if we pay attention to that, we will very more effortlessly address the pain and be able to move beyond it. And that's the story behind the leverage your pain process.
Yes. So pay attention. Pay attention. And I know from my own experience, when it comes to pain, I at times say, okay, not right now. You know, I say, hold up, not right now. I'm in the middle of this big project. Not right now. I'm late for work. Not right now. I have too much going on. Mm-hmm. And what I have found is it may go away for a little bit, but it comes right back. Mm-hmm. Right? And where is it that we learn this behavior to just like ignore pain? Why is it not an automatic thing for us to pay attention to our pain?
It's not an automatic thing because it's not something, I mean, when you think about everything from how you grew up to the school system to where we are constantly being taught to look at everything from the outside in.
Yes.
We are taught that everything that we're perceiving and believing that our lives are being imposed upon us, that our lives affect us, that we are not affecting our lives. So as we're being trained to believe that it is outside of us and not within us, this is what causes distrust. Mm-hmm. This is what causes us to feel like we can continue to put things on the back burner because we were never taught to begin with that we had the capability to address these things. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't we put it on the back burner if we think we cannot affect change with it? So this has been what we've been being taught, and oftentimes without words even being spoken. This is how we're being taught. So it's perhaps how we've been growing up in our homes. And you know, I want to because as I assist women with the process of paying attention to their inner conversation, as you do, Renee, what I'm noticing is that when you say, you know, how you've grown up, we need to pay attention to this, automatically I sense and I get a stop. Because what's happening is people are perceiving that, I had in the stories that I'm playing in my mind, in the inner conversations that are going on, that I know have affected me. I know that I'm going to identify that my mom might have had a part to play in that story. My father, my brother, our loved ones.
Yes.
And so people are very hesitant to want to pay attention or look at things that other players in the story are loved ones. And what I want to talk about with that, or address with that, is that when we understand that at a space and time when we were too young to surmise that whatever it was that was going on at that space and time, our thoughts, our viewpoint, our perspective was an unhealthy one at that point in time, because we were too young to do anything other than that. So whatever it is we might have gathered in terms of something that might have happened, something that might have been said, something that might have been done, we were not in a space when we were younger to be able to surmise that situation in a healthy manner. But now that we are older, when we decide that we're going to stop and turn around and pay attention to our inner conversations, pay attention to the stories, and understand the players that might have played their part, we know now that we're approaching it in a healthy manner, and we're approaching it in an objective manner, not to shame and blame anyone, but simply to identify something, to face it, so that we can move beyond it.
Yes.
So I just wanted to talk about that, because I noticed that people, get real tensed up, and they, if I have to say that my mom played a part in this, or, and we're all on a grand stage.
We really are.
And we're all playing a role, and as perspective shifts and changes, our roles are shifting and changing. So, I don't know why this is coming up, but there was something that one of my favorite authors said, Dr. Joseph Dispenza, who was in the movie The Secret. He said that when we are meeting someone that perhaps we haven't seen in quite some time, the question is not, "Hi, how are you?" The question is, "How have you grown since the last time I saw you?"
Wow, that's powerful.
Because a lot of times we're not having a relationship with someone based on who they are right now.
Yes.
In the present.
Wow.
We are having a relationship with someone that we met a long time ago. And that character, that perspective of that individual at that space and time gets locked in the brain.
Yes.
And we continue to have a relationship with that character, even now.
Yes.
And this is how some relationships don't tend to grow, whether they're romantic, whether they're professional, whether they're whatever, the business, because we are not necessarily interacting and engaging with one another in the current perspective of who we are right now.
Yes.
And this is causing pain as well. This can cause pain.
Yeah, as you say that, I'm even thinking about not even necessarily meeting someone that you haven't seen for a long time, but as you said, our coworkers, our family members, as it relates to pain, if someone close to us does something and we experience pain as a result of it, that's why it's important for us to address the pain in that moment, because when we see them the next day, with, as you said, our brain is locked into the experience we had with that person the day before. Meanwhile, presently, the person might have let it go, or they're not even thinking about it. They've changed their mind, or they are not that incident, right? They are not that incident. So, all right. Wow. This is really a powerful conversation. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, and this is why I love engagement back and forth, because something that you said prompted me to think about the fact that I'm getting ready to take y'all to whole other levels.
Come on through. We ready. Y'all
We
ready?
had now we had a stepping stone, and I'm glad that we talked about it with regard to leveraging your pain and paying attention. We can leverage something by paying attention to it, but I want to zoom in on relationships real
Yes.
quick,
Yes.
because, and we're going to zoom in and we're going to zoom back out. Okay.
That's fine.
And what I want to talk about with relationships or with ourselves is that when we're experiencing an emotion at all, okay, I need to pause for a minute, because I'm even trying to hold on to myself with what I'm about to say.
Okay. Whew.
When we are experiencing an emotion at all, it is actually a one-sided, it's actually, I cannot think of the word off the top of my head, but it is a one-sided perspective of something, whether it is positive or negative. It is, the name of the game is balance. The name of the game is balance. So if we're experiencing something at all, no matter what the relationship is, we have to stop and pay attention to the fact that we perhaps are projecting our values onto someone else, or we are, yes, we're projecting our values onto someone else, and they cannot live with those values because they themselves have their own set of values. We can only expect ourselves to live within our own set of values. So when relationships begin to go astray, askew, any of that, it has to do with either a projection or an injection of values that either person is either projecting, or they themselves are trying to live within someone else's set of values, but they cannot do it. Either way, they can't do it or you can't do it. So what we need to, the pain that we are experiencing, if you are experiencing an extreme of an emotion or an emotion at all, because there's something called balance where, and I'm going to go to a mathematical equation in my mind. You know how a positive and a negative cancel out everything? Think about it that way. That is what balance is. A positive and a negative cancel out everything. And then you're just in the present. And there's not this up and down roller coaster of being extremely happy or extremely sad or upset, or there's not that. There's balance.
All right. So I have to let me draw up a scenario so that we can feel what you just explained. I'm at work. My boss asks me to complete a project. I complete the project. I hand the project to my boss. My boss then comes and yells at me. Why did you do this like this? This is horrible. And then slams the project. The emotion that I feel is embarrassment, hurt. I feel like I'm belittled. Are you saying that I am projecting or inject? Okay, I'm either projecting my emotions or injecting what he's saying. Please,
I love that you
help me with that one. Help me with that one.
Because that's a couple of different things here. Let's go back to the beginning of your entering into this workplace to begin with.
Okay.
Okay. Because the bottom line of this scenario that I just created, where I talked about balance, is the fact that you understood what your values were from the door.
Okay.
And that boss understood what his values were from the door. And the reason you came together was because your values were your values, and you found a way in order to, you matched up with this person's values. Okay. You both synchronistically matched up with each other's values. So the scenario of a extreme from the boss would not occur.
Say that again.
Okay.
You got to say that one more time.
So remember, we went back to the beginning of your even coming into this workplace.
Yes.
The fact that you even are there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The reason you should be at a job, let's talk about that. The reason you should be at a job, any job that you're at, is because that job matched up with your values. You're getting something from that job as it relates to your own values.
Yes.
But you are also providing something to that job
right
related to your values.
Right.
So you synchronistically came together because your values matched.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean you're never going to get in an argument or you're never going to experience this, that, or the other.
Right.
But to experience, especially on a regular basis, an extreme of any emotion, one way or the other, there's no balance in the values.
There is no balance in the values.
No, there's no balance.
Dig a little deeper with that. Why is there no balance?
Well, there's no balance because you never assessed it from the door. You never even understood that you had a value system, or that you had a set of what I'll call greatest values, or what you value. A lot of times, most of the time, people have not even looked at this. You never even, people are wondering why they're upset, why they're depressed going into their jobs, why they want to leave. They're not motivated. They're unengaged. There are all kinds of stuff at their jobs on a regular basis and don't understand why. The reason why is because that individual never knew what their set of values was to begin with in order to choose a job or a career that aligned with their greatest values. So you are experiencing an injection from your job or whomever is around you of their values upon you, because you never knew what your values were to begin with in order to say whether or not you actually should be working there or not.
I get it now. So basically, what happens is we get into things without establishing within ourselves what our core values are.
Exactly.
Once we know what we want to experience, there will not be an injection, an extreme injection of someone else's values, because we would not have even synchronized.
Exactly.
So, this is so good. Are y'all picking up what Lisa is putting down in this live here? Leverage your pain. Leverage your pain. So, a lot of the things we are experiencing, and mamas, we're going to get into your emotions in a minute. A lot of the things that we are experiencing it because we have not assessed
our greatest values. We have not assessed that. But yet our lives that we're living each and every day are showing us what those values are.
Yes.
It is as a result of our not valuing our greatest value that we are experiencing the extremes of the emotion that we are experiencing. It's because we didn't understand this from the door. Because once you are functioning within your greatest values and you are building, you're creating from that space.
Yes.
It's not that you will accept the opportunity and the challenge of your greatest values. You will automatically and inherently have an inspiration as a result of your values. For instance, let me think about something. Just give me an example, Andrene, of something that you experience or that you live that is your life every single solitary day. Nobody has to ask you to do it. Nobody has to pull or tug you to do it. Nobody has to motivate you to do it. And don't go too far out into the stratosphere as far as what I'm talking about. Think about something that you do every single day that nobody has to ask you to do.
Take a shower.
Okay, let's go to something else.
Oh, something a little bit more.
That's you. That's you. That's
That's me?
intrinsically you.
That's intrinsically me. Pray.
Yeah.
I pray.
Okay, so that's intrinsically you.
Mhm.
That is a high value for you.
Mhm.
Intrinsically you. No one has to ask you to do it.
Mhm.
Nobody has to motivate you to do it. Nobody has to tell you to do it.
Mhm.
That is your greatest value, and it's happening inherently.
Right.
That does not require outside motivation.
Right.
We're using this term motivation a lot. Let's get motivated. Actually, if you need motivation, you are not functioning from your greatest value.
Stop the press. Hold up.
Let's stop it. Let's stop it,
Hold
read it,
up.
and turn the page.
Did y'all hear that? So basically, Lisa, if you're saying that I have to pump myself up,
Yes, ma'am. Say it.
Do
Say what you're saying.
then I'm not being myself. I'm not really
That's what I'm
being
saying.
authentic.
That's what I'm saying.
So whatever comes through me naturally, inherently, is
Your greatest value. Yes.
y'all. So what y'all been trying to So okay, wait. So wow, you know what? This is about to set a lot of people free, including myself. Because at times we believe that there are certain things we should be doing.
Yes, ma'am.
There are things that we feel we should be doing because everybody else says it's right, and everybody else says if you do this, then you'll get that. And at times, I would say that causes depression too, because you want to be something so bad, and it's just not coming naturally. Oh, this is so good. So
if you gotta pump yourself up,
it's not.
No.
So do yourself a favor, and I'm gonna do myself a favor, and I'm just gonna be true to me. And if it don't flow, I'ma let it go. If it flow, I'ma let it go. If it don't flow, I'ma let it go. Wow! I hope I hear chains falling right now. I hear chains falling. I see people flying.
Okay.
All right. So
I said put on your seatbelt.
listen.
Okay.
This is heavy. This is heavy, but you know what? If you want to be free, you'll pick up what Lisa's putting down. You'll pick it up. Now, as it relates to mommies, now this is good. I like this because mommies.
Listen, we still talking about mommies.
Yes, you're right.
Because it's mommies. You know, your platform is talking to the mother, and Andrene, I just want to say how proud I am of you.
Thank you.
Because you have carved out a platform giving voices to the mamas.
Yes.
And you know, and I'm watching you online, I'm watching you flowing, and I'm like, see, this is what's naturally intrinsic of you. You can even talk about from your own experiences what you might have tried prior to this.
Yes.
That didn't feel good, that wasn't going right, that wasn't flowing in the way you thought it should flow.
Yes.
And guess what? That pain that you were feeling.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Let's talk to the pain. The pain that you were feeling gave you a clue.
Yes.
That something wasn't right. Right?
Yes.
It gave you a clue. And so when we understand that the pain has given us a clue and we're willing to stop and pay attention and have a look, we're willing to stop and pay attention. We will. Now, I have ways to make it faster, but I have ways to make it faster. Mm-hmm. However, if we stop and we pay attention, and we understand the clue that is being presented to us, or we pay attention to the clue that's being presented, ultimately, it'll be, once you get the realization and you understand what's happening, it'll be like a key fitting very perfectly into a lock, and it will open a door to another understanding that you were not willing to understand or could not see prior to saying, you know what, I'm going to pay attention to this clue that's being provided, which is that feeling inside of myself, which is only a biofeedback mechanism. It's a form of communication. This is why I said, you know what, I'm done with all this fairy tale dust being sprinkled all over everything. Because no, we need to turn around and face this, because this is how we identify. And we, first of all, there needs to be acceptance.
Yes.
How do you move beyond something if you have not accepted that something is going on? How do you do that? I don't get it. I mean, if somebody got a clue as to how you do that, then, you know, and for those that it works for. So let me not take anything away from those who do affirmations and you feel better and all of that. I can only talk from my experience, and that is temporary.
Yes.
So if it's working for someone, because there's always the variable of, you know, not 100%, there's that 1% or whatever, that something else is happening. But from what I have seen since 2011,
wow,
I have not seen a time where someone could just act like something didn't exist and it
just went away.
And it just went away. I've not seen it.
Right. So even if you affirm, even if you do use affirmations, I believe there has to be acceptance first. Like,
well, let me talk to you about affirmations.
Yes, please do.
Because affirmations are very, very powerful.
Yes.
One of my affirmations is that I change the energy when I come in the room. Yeah. Okay. So what I want to say about affirmations is that you can affirm if you believe. No, not if you believe. This is not I believe I can fly. No. If it does not line up with your highest and greatest value, you're working against yourself.
Wow. Even in affirmation.
Even in affirmation. I mean, show me somebody who kept affirming something over and over again, and it just shifted and changed something that is opposite of your core value. Wow. If it's not your core value, it's not happening.
It's not happening.
It's not happening. It's not that the affirmation's not working. It's that it's against your core value.
So how does one, so somebody must be asking, well then Lisa, how do I know what my core values are?
Well, I'm glad that you asked.
Let's get to that. Let's get to the root. Let's get to
that is where I come in.
Yes.
Because I do have a coaching process right now where I provide a set of questions which allow you to objectively. That means you're able to stand back and you're able to answer these questions, not trying to figure something out first, not trying to take control, not trying to fix something along the way, which is what we always try to do. This set of questions allows you to answer the set of questions, and then from that process, you will see your greatest value emerge. I'm not going to give you all of the process.
Right,
but it is a set of questions that are designed to have you stop and pay attention to how you are living right now. So this set of questions is not, if I ask you what your greatest value is, and you start spouting out things like integrity and I know you don't know that. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about societal anecdotes and you know what you think you should say.
Right.
This questionnaire is designed so that you are able to answer the questions from a space of how you are living right now. Because it's how you are living right now that is speaking to you, but you're not able to identify it. That is speaking to you about what your greatest and core values are right now.
Yes.
And then from that space of identifying your values, you will be able to create realistic and attainable goals, both in your life and your business, because you are already inspired from the space of your values, because you're already inspired to do what you're doing right now. You
Right.
just haven't identified what those values are.
Wow.
I just did this with my 12-year-old daughter just the other day. So this children can, and that is my ultimate aspiration, my ultimate goal, what, you know, where I am inspired from, is to work with families, because initially I thought, oh, the children, and then I thought, wait a minute, no, it's not just the children. As I was talking to mothers about this, the mothers were like, well, wait a minute, I need to know what my values are. And I'm like, you know what, you're absolutely right. Yes, everybody does. So my ultimate goal is to work with families, entire families. However, whoever is ready right now, we can get this popping.
Lisa is your girl, y'all. Lisa is your girl. Seriously. And you know, one emotion that one pain point that I hear mothers speak of a lot, and I believe we answered this question already, but let's just talk about this emotion. Overwhelm. Overwhelm. Mommies, not only mommies, just women.
And I just want to say hi to everybody out there. I see
Well,
some of my people in the house. Wait a minute.
Yeah, all right. Let me give you your shout outs. I see Sabrina, Cassandra, Raheem, Dion, Kiatra, Nadia. Hey.
Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for being here, everybody.
Yes, we appreciate it.
You.
Yes, and if you haven't shared this video yet, please do. Please do. This is good stuff, y'all. This is good stuff. It's going to set a lot of people free. I just saw Yvette log on. How are you doing, love? Please share this live. Please share this live. So yeah.
So overwhelmed.
Yes. Overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. Mommies, there was a video that you shared with me, and it was going viral on Facebook, of this mother crying, and just it was like she was having a meltdown. Her 2-year-old was crying, and she just had about enough, and she just had to lock the door, step out, cry, and say, this is just not fair. I'm doing it by myself. But as you said, there's a conversation. There's a conversation going on. Yeah. And when you feel overwhelmed like that, what are how can we leverage overwhelm? How can we leverage that?
Well, here's how we can leverage overwhelm. Because part of what's happening that we're not identifying is that when we start to feel overwhelmed or depressed, because you got over and you got D, right?
Okay, over and D, wow.
Right, depressed. Part of why that's happening is because we have already, without understanding that we've done it, we have already set up a image in our minds of something that we're calling perfect, something that we're calling all good, it's all wonderful, it's all good. Whatever this image is that we have in our minds, it is a perfect image of how we want our lives to go. Yes. Right? Anything that is not that image, which is actually a false image, which is actually an illusion.
Wow. And an
illusion is an illusion. Okay? And the reason I say it's an illusion is because there is always balance in this world. The universe is showing us through winter and summer. Okay.
Yes.
Chaos and order.
Yes.
Dark, what we call dark and what we call light. It's always showing us that there is something called balance.
Yes.
So whenever we set up a perfected vision in our mind, and we are living, we're attempting to live that vision, because that's what we're doing, because we're visualizing that, but we're not understanding that's the ongoing communication that is happening within our minds. So anything that is not happening, that is not, when you're not facing your reality and you're judging it against this perfection, it is going to cause overwhelm.
Wow.
What we have not identified, if we're not paying attention, and this is part of what, you know, coaching with me will help you to do, is to identify what that setup image even is. We don't even know that we're doing it. We have no idea that we're having inner conversations with ourselves where we are comparing our current reality to something that has been set up. It's the only way you start experiencing a emotion called overwhelm or depression, because you are not in the current reality of your space. How can you not be in the current reality of your space? Because you set something up as an image in your mind that is quote unquote better. It's all perfect. It's all wonderful. It's all, you're only, you know, it's all this wonderful thing. So when you experience something other than that wonderfulness that has been set up, you begin to feel depressed.
Yes.
And you begin to feel overwhelmed. But you haven't recognized that you've set up that image. That's why you don't know what's happening.
Wow. So if I am not loving and accepting who I am, where I am right now, then I am trying to be something I'm not, basically.
Exactly. And you cannot fulfill what you are not. You can only do who you be. You can only do who you be. Outside of that, you will experience depression and overwhelm.
Now, what about us who want to excel to something? Say we desire to evolve to something else. How do we balance accepting who we are, loving ourselves, yet striving for more? How does that work?
Well, balance comes when you first identify what your greatest values even are. We're going to keep going back to that. Balance comes. Now, in terms of the expansion or acceleration, let's go inside of yourself. If I can take you there for a minute.
Yes, you can.
You're experiencing your greatest value, and for you, you said prayer. So let's go there, or let's think about how that makes you feel. It is an automatic, inherent, intrinsic inspiration that happens from the inside. And what happens with that is you want to have more and more and more, or you are able to, without being motivated, without anybody having to do, you know, and maybe prayer might not be the best of examples. And if I can think of something, I'll do something else. But when you are functioning from your greatest value and you are experiencing a balance on the inside of yourself, this balance turns on what's called the executive center of the brain. The executive center of the brain is now able to not only accept opportunity, but it's also able to accept challenge. So it also in your ability to not only accept opportunity, but challenge as well, it allows you to have forethought. Okay, because you can foresee what the challenges might possibly be, because your executive center is turned on in the brain, because you are balanced, because you have identified your greatest value. And because of all of that, as you begin to move forward, because you will automatically do that, because inherently you'll have identified your greatest value, and from that space you are able to create goals that are realistic and attainable goals, right? Realistic and attainable to you and your greatest value.
Yes.
You will continue it will not matter if you are working from right now to 1 a.m. because you are inspired from within to do what you already do, it will not feel like work, and therefore you will automatically begin to aspire because you won't quit.
Got it.
So all of this is connected, and you won't even have to. I'm gonna say something. My mouth wanted to say it, and then I was like, I'm gonna guarantee that if you line up with your greatest value, you will not have to think twice about expansion or anything else like that, because it's going to happen automatically, because you're functioning from the space that inherently gives you the inspiration to continue to do, but not only continue, because remember, we got foresight, we got the hindsight, we got all kind of sight, because everything turned on, the balance of the brain is occurring now.
Yes.
And because the balance of the brain is occurring, you will be able to continue to do what you're doing, and it won't matter what time it is. So this is where that quote comes from, that if you're doing what you love to do, you're not working. If you do what you love to do, you won't have to work another day in your life, is what's said, because you're doing exactly what you're inspired to do. Inherently, intrinsically inspired.
Wow.
No outside motivation needed.
Wow. Wow is all I can say. And this was so good. I feel so full.
It's over?
Listen, I feel good. I feel good because, wow, like everyone who's watching or who will watch this, I know you're going to feel this goodness, because it's going to set you free. It's going to set you free because you won't have to try or pump yourself into doing anything. You're going to want to know what your core values are.
Yes.
And
that you're already doing.
That you're already doing, but you may not be aware.
You're not aware.
And Lisa is your girl. Lisa is your girl. Listen, as soon as we end this live, do not delay. Lisa is she's a very warm person, inviting. She's not too high that you can't speak to her. Mm-hmm. You could set up an appointment, a consultation, and hire her to help you to get clear on what your core values are. Wow, because
we're going to have some fun. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
Because when you start understanding something about yourself that you're living this every single day, all day, you just didn't know how to bring it. You just didn't know how to see it, in the forefront. And now you're going to be able to stop fighting against it. Stop devaluing yourself by doing something other than what your greatest values are. Because every time we do that, we're in essence devaluing ourselves in order to just get it done. Or we're in survival mode and we're functioning from that space. This is what's causing, back to the mommies and whomever else is listening, this is what's causing all of that up and down emotion. And this is what's causing the depression and the anger and the anxiety. And, this is part, I'll just say part, because I don't know everything, this is a huge astronomical part of why this is happening, why people are experiencing such extreme emotion one way or the other. And I'm here to tell you that when you are functioning from your greatest and your core and your highest values, the experience I'm having is that the mind chatter is gone.
Wow.
The mind chatter is gone. All of those stories and the inner conversations and all of this stuff, it doesn't, but think about this. It doesn't have to exist anymore. Those things are in existence to support the emotion that it's supporting. But you're no longer, you don't exist in that space anymore, because you're experiencing the balance, the positive and the negative canceling each other out. so that you no longer have to live in the space of storytelling and inner conversations, because you are functioning from your greatest and highest.
Greatest and highest. Listen, everybody who hears this, you should want that. You gotta want. Let me not say should.
I see Raheem in here breaking words down. Raheem.
We have to pull out our dictionary with Raheem.
I know, Raheem.
You know it. Genius is in the room. Genius.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, ladies. This we're gonna have to do a part 2. We're gonna have to do part 2 because this right here.
Raheem said you already know. You already know. Yes, we do,
so
Raheem.
Good.
Yes, we do.
This is so good. And Lisa, I know the people want to know where they can find you. Please share your social media handles where they can find you. Let them know, where are you? Where can they find you?
Yes. For this experience with with your ability to be able to, or my assistance to help you to be able to identify your greatest and highest values. This is actually a brand new, or my, for me setting it up and everything. It's not brand new to me. It's brand new to the setup. So what I'd like for everyone to do is you could go to leverageyourpain.com/contact page. And on that contact page, I believe, and let me go there while I'm talking so I don't misdirect you. Hold on just one second.
Thank you, Raheem. Raheem says this was truly great, ladies.
Oh, thank you.
Nadia is like, woohoo!
Raheem, thank you so much for being here. Yes, so it's leverageyourpain.com/contact-us. And you can go to that page. You can put your name, your email address, and just title it highest values, or something like that. So I'll know that it was as a result of this discussion that we had tonight.
Or you can put sacred conversation.
Sacred conversation.
Sacred conversation.
As a result of this conversation is what led you to want to have services with me. And after you fill out that contact page, we'll set up a 10-minute free consultation so that I'll know exactly
Mm-hmm.
whether we can work together, and then we'll get started. I'll send you that payment link. And then you'll have access to the schedule, which it's convenient for you to be able to schedule online yourself. So you'll be able to go and do that. And then we just get moving. That's it. It's that simple. It's not a bunch of long drawn out stuff. It's boom, bam, to the point. Let's get it.
Straight to the point. Let's get to business. Because listen, we try to live our highest self. We trying to live from our core. We ain't got time, no more time to waste.
No.
Acting like something we ain't.
And trust me, I tried it.
Listen, it's time.
Listen, I'm coming from experience. It don't work. It don't work.
It don't. We all know depression, overwhelm. Enough of that, right?
Exactly.
So we're going to be posting the links in the chat box so that you all can access it easily. But I must say again, Lisa, thank you so much for sharing your brilliance, for being in this space.
Thank you.
For being just this magnificent being to the mothers and to my audience. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate your audience.
We're gonna have to meet. Lisa and I haven't met in person yet, but we feel like we're sisters.
Yes,
we feel like we're sisters already, and we're definitely gonna do a part 2 for you guys, because this is just too good, and there's so much more. So please feel free to send in your questions or whatever it is that you want us to discuss, and we'll schedule another sacred conversation about leveraging your pain. Listen, please guys, reach out to Lisa. She will help you. She'll get you clear and on your way living your best life. Guys, I love you. Share this live. Listen, don't be selfish. Share the goods.
Don't be selfish, y'all. Don't be selfish.
Share the goodness.
We went on a ride.
Yes.
Listen, I ain't even know what I was going to say. That's how That's
This was
what
so good.
I love it. I love it.
This was so good. All right, guys, we hate to say goodbye, but until next time, take care. Bye.